So the third one, this has been a hot topic since interest rates kind of jumped up a little bit, is buying a house. You need to buy real estate, okay, and start with your own house, right? And I just, people are like, well, I'm not going to buy a house because interest rates are so high, I can't afford it. That is BS, right? That is BS. When I bought my first house, I was getting started out. 30-year interest rate for good credit was 8%. It's not 8%. It's still way under that, right? I think it's like 7 right now. But you look at that, there are ways to do that, right? If you're single, young, get a house with, some roommates or something where you buy the house, have some people come in, put it, set up an agreement, a lease agreement, make sure everything's not just a handshake. But, do that, find a way to buy a house. Whoa, excuse me. All right. Technical difficulties. Sorry. But anyway, buy that house and interest rates are so high, I'm going to wait till they come down. Here's the deal. If you buy the house now and the rates come down, refinance. That's what everybody did when the rates dropped the first time, right? It's not like everybody had super low rates before that, and if they're going to go down, they're going to go down. But if they don't, you're losing out on the appreciation because house values are still going up, right? And that's the thing to think about. And it's like, you've got to look at it this way. Well, I'm not going to buy a house, I'm going to rent. Well, you're still buying a house. You're just not buying your house. You're buying your landlord's house, or you're buying the apartment complex's house, right? Or the units, right? You're paying for it. So why wouldn't you want to get something out of it? Well, then it goes back to, I can't afford it. Figure out a way. Find a good, loan broker out there, a mortgage person, right? Shop around. There's a lot of good bankrate.com. You can go and kind of see what the rates are, see what you qualify for. And then, man, I don't know that I can afford that, with the upkeep and everything else. This is where roommates come in, right? People left and right are buying houses. We've got a client right now, 24 years old, bought a house, right? In Colorado, which is not cheap. Okay. How did she do it? Well, she moved in and then she quickly found a couple of her friends that were looking for a place to rent and they wanted a house rather than an apartment. Because let's be honest, unless you're into downtown living, apartments aren't the greatest. I've done it. They're okay. But now you've got that ability, that extra income coming in. Plus, you're a landlord. There's some tax benefits to it. Talk to a tax professional. But find a way, right? So number 3 is buy a house. And then you look at number 4, it's starting, that investment journey, right? Long-term investments. I'm not talking emergency fund. Don't think you're going to put away money and then 2 weeks later, it's like, ooh, look at me. I've got great returns and things like that. Long-term investing, 20, 30 years down the road. Okay. How do you do that? Well, you start looking at, you can do your 401k. And if you've got a 401k, I'm a big proponent of 401ks to the match. Whatever the company provides you, I wouldn't put another penny over that. Right? Why? Because there's so many other options out there. You've got protected asset classes. Our company specializes in that. What's that? Well, what that is where you put your money, you get market-driven growth, right? But there's hedges around it, meaning you get growth when the market drops, you don't lose money. You don't gain that year, but you don't lose your money, right? And I know we talked about that that's one of the big tragedies in people with their 401ks or IRAs. They get that growth, right? But what also do they get?
Yeah, they get the losses for sure. And and then, you express this point all the time is you're not just losing money, you're losing time because it takes years sometimes to recoup that money that you lost in the market.